Всем привет, добрый день. Guys, good afternoon. I am here at Plashad Jakub Kolas. That is himself there behind me, a well-known landmark. And it's the mid-afternoon weekday here in Minsk. This is Plashad. This is Prospect Nezavizamosti. Quite busy, guys. And up there, of course, is the Tsum, which I've featured on this channel. So as you know, guys, my channel has been demonetized by Google, by the good folks at Google. So I would greatly appreciate it if you could support my work. I will leave the link below, the Patreon link, where you can support this channel. Okay. Let's start off with number one of the 5 things that will surprise you when you come to Belarus. Yeah, it's kind of lucky in that, in some way, lucky in that I've been demonetized, that I can discuss controversial topics without the fear of being demonetized. Thank you, Google. Okay, it's a bit loud out here, so let's go across the road into Park Chaluskitsev. Okay, let's talk about point number 1, safety. There is no, or practically very little, antisocial behavior in this country. Any visitor who has been to Belarus, especially to a city like Minsk, 2 million people, will see just how safe it is. I'll give you an example from my own perspective. About 2 or 3 years ago, I conducted an experiment. I left my bike outside for about 10 days, outside my apartment block. And when I went back to have a look at the bike, it was still there. Until some bloke came up to me and asked me who owns the bike, and I said I own the bike, and he offered it to me for 50 rubles and a bottle of vodka. Sold. So that's point number 1, safety. Super safe here. You don't have to worry about crime, unlike if you go to Dublin. People here, friends here, who have to go to Dublin, whatever, for tourism, whatever, I have to tell them just to be careful. Don't walk around certain streets, certain places, certain districts after 6 p.m. Yeah. Now, I haven't been back home in about over 5 years, but when I do eventually go back home, which will be in the summer, for a vacation, well, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to try and adjust from here. It's my homeland. Now, I'm not saying everything here is absolutely perfect. It isn't. But I don't like the way in which, or a direction in which my homeland is going in. So that's point number 1. Safety. Let's push on. This is Park Chaluskitsev, guys. It's right in the center of Minsk. What a fantastic amenity to have. It's actually one of my favorite places in the whole city, and you can just go anywhere, you know, with the hustle and bustle of Minsk. Just go for a walk. Hard to believe, guys, it's in the center of Minsk, Park Chaluskitsev. Love this place. Point number 2, guys. No LGBTQ. Or how many pronouns? 57 of them that you can add after that. There's no woke here. That kind of crap is simply not tolerated. Remember, folks, there are 2 sexes, male and female. 2 genders, not 57. Simple as that. Yeah, so there you go. There's no LGBTQ here, unlike back home where it's shoved down your throat, the woke ideology as such. And I'm against it for some very, very simple reasons. Number 1, it's anti-woman. So yeah, that's what I like about this country. None of this woke stuff. No LGBTQ nonsense. Simple as that. Men are men, women are women. And that's the way it should be. Number 3, it's clean. Any visitor who has been here to Belarus often gives feedback about how clean this place is. Now, just to let you know, guys, this is in Park Chelyskitsev. Now, although we are in March, yeah, not much happening, but it is extremely clean here. There is not a paper or anything on the ground. If you're back home, you might see some needles or some feral teenagers causing hassle for the locals who want to use the park as a public amenity. Now, I've been all over Belarus, not just here in Minsk, and a lot of people have commented on just how clean it is. People who've told me that when they go to other countries in Europe, go to places like Vienna, Berlin, Dublin, etc., they often comment how dirty the cities and towns are, just unkempt. And I think this is a very, very bad sign when you have your towns and cities that are just not cleaned, they're just not being maintained. Footpaths, pavements, roads, etc., cracks in buildings, windows broken. Yeah, and that's a common sight that I have witnessed when I travel into the European Union, or into the West as they call it. Yeah, but here everything's in order. It's clean, it's tidy, it's safe, and of course, onto my next point, infrastructure. That is the train shed for the children's railway there. That's where all the carriages are kept during the off season. Very, very nice. Okay, talking about infrastructure, that's just part of the social infrastructure that we have here in Belarus. The children's railway, something that we don't have back home. And people who have come here, of course, have remarked at how safe it is, how clean it is, and of course, how things run on time every day as such. I'll give you an example from my own experience. A few months ago, I took the train from Gomel to Minsk, and the train was scheduled to arrive in Minsk, I think it was around 9:52 a.m. and I noticed as we were pulling into Minsk, we were going to arrive about 4 to 5 minutes early. However, the train driver slowed the train in order that it would arrive in Minsk at exactly that time, 9:52 a.m. And that just tells you about the infrastructure, how developed it is here. You can get on a train and go to anywhere part of Belarus, you know, anywhere you want. And for places that don't have a train service, just get in a bus or a marshutka and it'll take you there as such. And of course, the trains here, public transport here is quite safe, unlike in Ireland with Iarnród Éireann and Bus Éireann, where you have to run the gauntlet of let's say people who've consumed too much alcohol. Yeah, and also we notice about the roads here, also very, very well developed. Belarus is, after all, in the upper tier of developed countries. It's a higher, middle to high income country according to the UN as such. Yeah, and that reflects on the overall infrastructure that is available in this country. Roads, railway. Minsk here has a metro. I've mentioned it many, many times that Minsk has a metro that is clean, that is safe, and that is punctual, get you around to most places in the capital. And for any places that don't have a metro, well, just use a marshutka. That's all you need as such. Yeah. Something that Dublin doesn't have, and they've been talking about it for the last 50 years, since the mid-1970s, and still we have no metro. So there you go. That's point number 4, infrastructure. Point number 5, street sellers. Now, this is something that you don't get back home, but when you come to Belarus, you will see, especially in Minsk and in the undercarriage below the roads, etc., and in a lot of provincial towns, you will see these street sellers sell anything from books, food, honey, fruit, vegetables, even gloves, etc. And it's always the babushki who do this as such, and it's nice and it's very charming as well to see the street sellers, and especially in the summertime when they gather in places in the city centre to sell their wares as such. So that was number 5, about things that will surprise you when you come to Belarus. Okay guys, let's leave it at that today, but before I leave you, the next step is how to get here. Now, as you know, Belarus already has a visa-free regime with over 30 countries. I discussed this in a video from last week with my good friend Andrei Burdenkov. It's in the previous video. I'll leave a link above here on the screen, where we set out the do's and the don'ts, all the questions that you have forwarded to me about coming here to visit and or even live and work here in Belarus as such. And last week Belarus announced a electronic visa program for a further 30 odd countries, so now it's up to more than 60 countries. And again, I will leave a link in the video description below about the e-visa that you can get for Belarus. And this e-visa, unlike the visa-free, will allow you to travel to the Russian Federation from Belarus, either by plane or overland on a train. Anyway, Andrei Burdenkov has actually also made a video about this, so I will leave a link in the video description below for you. Okay guys, let's leave it at that for today. So that was a video about 5 things that will surprise you when you come to Belarus. Okay, so guys, well, it's the end of March here, and yeah, looks really nice. Spring is in the air, and the best time to come to Belarus, of course, is in May. From about mid-May, early to mid-May onwards, right up into late September. That's the best time to come to Belarus, and you have no excuses not to come. The weather is fantastic. If you look at my channel, from the previous videos in my channel, I've been to many places all over Belarus as such, where you can check out some really nice towns and interesting sites, including UN World Heritage sites as well. Okay, so let's leave it at that, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you sometime very soon. So from a very nice park here in the center of Minsk, it is Do Svidania, do Pobacenia, Slán go fóill.